everybody, Dr. Nelson here. This is an interactive video lesson about the relationship between scale factor and perimeter. So what's going to happen is you're going to take notes with me on this first page. Then you have a chance to pause the video and try a couple problems on your own. And then at the end you can see how you did. All right? So a couple things. So again, we're talking about scale factor and perimeter. And remember, perimeter is the distance around a shape, right? It's a distance, not the area, right? So don't confuse area with perimeter. So again, perimeter is the distance around. So let's say, for example, we have a simple rectangle that's going to be 1 unit by 2 units, just like this. So it's going to be a 1 by 2. So this is going to be a 2 over here, and this is going to be a 1, right? So the perimeter of the shape would be 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So the perimeter of this rectangle, we're going to say, is 6 units. All right. Now, let's come up with a scale factor of, say, 2. So I'm going to say a K value. Remember, K value is a scale factor. The K value is going to be 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a copy of the shape, but it's going to have a scale factor of 2. So this 2 is going to turn into a 4. So I'm going to go this way, 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this 1 is going to turn into a 2. So I'm going to go down 2. So 1 and 2. Then going back this way, 4. And up 2, like that. So again, it's going to be 4 and 2 and 4 and 2. So now the perimeter, notice, it's going to be a little bit longer than the first one, right? So 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. So our perimeter is going to be 12 units. So again, notice when we had a scale factor of 2, the perimeter went from 6 to 12. And notice when I multiply the 6 by the K value, I get the new perimeter. All right. So again, notice I did the 6, I times it by the K value, and I got the new perimeter. Let's see if that works for another one, another type of problem. All right, this time I'm going to use a different color. Let's go with blue, okay? And I'm going to draw another rectangle, and this rectangle is going to be, let's go 6 by 4. So we're going to go this way, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's 6. And then we're going to go down 4. So down 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then over 6. And then up 4. There it is. So we have 6, and we have 4, and we have 6, and we have 4. So the perimeter of this shape, well, if I add up the distance around, 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 6 is 16, plus 4 is 20. So this is going to be 20 units long, okay? So now let's see what happens when we have a scale factor or a K value of 1/2. All right? So again, when we have a scale factor of 1/2, I need to cut the 6 to 3 and the 4 to 2. So I'm going to go this way, 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to go down 2. So 1 and 2. This way, 3. And up 1 and 2. So let's label that. So we have 3, and we have 2, and we have 3, and we have 2. So notice the perimeter of this new shape is going to be 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 3 is 8, plus 2 is 10. So our new perimeter of the new shape is going to be 10 units. And notice if I do 20 times 1/2, I'm going to do it up here. 20 times 1/2, which again is our scale factor. Guess what? We get the new, that's going to be 10. We get the new perimeter. All right. So hopefully you're seeing a pattern here. So we have the perimeter of the original. If we multiply it by the scale factor, we get the new perimeter. All right. So here's an important rule. Do me a favor, put a star here and a star here. All right. The perimeter changes the same way as the scale factor. All right, and remember the scale factor can also be called the K value. All right, K value is a fancy way to say scale factor. All right, so now knowing that, let's try a couple more problems. All right, so a triangle has a perimeter of 24 centimeters. It is enlarged to create a scale drawing with a scale factor of 2. All right, so here we go. Here's the important part. Let's underline scale factor of 2. So again, that's the K value. All right, so what is the perimeter of the new triangle? Well, it's pretty simple. All we do is we take the old perimeter, which is 24, and times it by the K value. And 24 times 2 is going to be 48. So the perimeter of the new shape is going to be 48 centimeters. But here's the deal. If the triangle had instead been reduced by a scale factor of 1/3, what would the perimeter be? Okay. Well, this time, again, the K value is going to be 1/3. So again, we're going to take that 24 and we're going to times it by 1/3, just like this. And I can cross reduce, make that a 1 and make that an 8. And 8 times 1 gives us 8. And 1 times 1 is 1. So that means the perimeter with a scale factor of 1/3 would now be 8 centimeters. All right. So one really important rule to remember is right here. Remember, the perimeter changes the same way as the scale factor. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video and try the Your Turn Now problems. And when you're done, hit play. You can see how you did. All right, good luck. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did with these practice problems. All right, so the question was a rectangle has a length of 10 centimeters and a width of 5 centimeters. It is enlarged to create a scale drawing with a scale factor of 3. All right, so the shape's getting larger, right? What is the perimeter of the new triangle? Draw the original and the scale copy. All right, so again, we know that we have a rectangle and the length is 10 and the width is 5. So let's draw that. So again, we have a rectangle. And the length is 10 centimeters. And so this is going to be 10, and this is going to be 10. And the width is going to be 5 centimeters. All right, so that's going to be the original. All right. Now what we know is that there's going to be a scale factor of 3. All right, again, that's the K value, right? So if I have a K value of 3, that means these new dimensions are going to be 30 and 15, right? So I'm going to draw a larger rectangle like this. And again, this is now going to be a 30 up here. So 30 and 30. And this is going to be 15 and 15, all right? Now notice that the perimeter of the original is 10 plus 10 is 20, right? Plus 5 is another 10. So that's going to be 30 centimeters. And what we know is that if we know the scale factor, okay, to get the new perimeter, we multiply the old perimeter by the scale factor, right? So if the old perimeter is 30 and the scale factor is 3, well, if I do 30 times 3, that will give us 90 centimeters. So that means this perimeter over here should add up to 90. So let's see if we're right. So 30 plus 30 is 60. Plus 15 is 75. Plus 15 is 90. Guess what? There it is. So the perimeter of this shape is going to be 90 centimeters. All right. Number 2. If the rectangle had instead been reduced by a scale factor of 1/5, what would the perimeter be? All right. Well, so this time the rectangle would get smaller. But again, we know that the perimeter of the original is 30. So if the scale factor is 1/5, if I do 30 times 1/5, I can cross reduce. That will give us 6 centimeters as our answer. All right. How'd you do?